I moved to a new country, matched with someone on a dating app, showed up to what I thought was a casual coffee date, and accidentally implied I wanted to meet their parents. Let's start with the good stuff, because there is a lot of it, and it deserves to be celebrated before we get into the messier territory. Dating someone from a different culture is one of the most genuinely exciting things you can experience as a human being. You are not just learning about another person. You are learning about an entirely different way of seeing the world. Simple things become fascinating. How they talk about family, what they consider romantic, how they express affection, what a serious relationship even looks like to them. You get this incredible window into a whole worldview that you never would have accessed otherwise. And that kind of connection, when it works, is honestly unlike anything else. There is also something really freeing about dating in a place where nobody knows your history. Back home, there is social pressure everywhere. Your friends have opinions. Your family has expectations. You carry all this invisible weight about who you are supposed to be and who you are supposed to be with. When you are abroad, that weight just lifts. You get to show up as whoever you actually are right now, not who you were in high school or what your last relationship defined you as. That fresh start energy is genuinely transformative, and a lot of people find they date with way more confidence when they are outside their home environment. But here is where things start getting complicated. And this is the part that matters most if you are actually thinking about dating while living abroad. Cultural norms around relationships vary wildly, and most people only discover this after they have already made awkward or hurtful mistakes. Let me walk you through some of the most important things to understand. In many cultures, especially across parts of Asia, the Middle East, and Latin America, the line between casual dating and serious courtship is almost non-existent. When someone agrees to go on a date with you, they may be signaling far more serious intentions than you realize. What feels like a fun third date to you might feel like a near engagement level commitment to them. This mismatch in expectations is probably the single most common source of hurt feelings and genuine misunderstandings in cross-cultural dating. And the cruel part is that both people are acting completely reasonably by their own cultural standards. Then there is the family dimension, which Western daters often completely underestimate. In many parts of the world, you are not just dating a person. You are entering a relationship with their entire family structure. Parents have opinions that carry serious weight. Introducing someone to your family means something very specific and very significant. If you are from a culture where you might casually bring a date to a family barbecue, without it meaning much, be very careful about accepting or extending family invitations in other cultures. It might be communicating something you did not intend at all. Communication styles are another area that creates enormous confusion. Some cultures are very direct about romantic interest and relationship status. Others rely heavily on implication, context, and what is left unsaid. If you come from a direct communication background and you are dating someone from a high-context culture, you might completely miss signals that they believe they are sending you loudly and clearly. And they might find your directness jarring, or even rude. Neither of you is wrong. You are just operating from fundamentally different communication systems. Now, here is the psychological piece that I think is really important to sit with. When we date someone from another culture, we naturally project our own cultural assumptions onto their behavior. This is called the fundamental attribution error, and it goes into overdrive in cross-cultural situations. If someone from your home culture cancels plans at the last minute, you might read that as disrespect or disinterest. But if someone from a culture that treats time more fluidly does the same thing, they might genuinely not understand why you are upset. Before you write someone off based on their behavior, it is worth asking yourself whether you are interpreting their actions through the right cultural lens. Gender dynamics add another layer of complexity that is impossible to ignore. Expectations around who initiates, who pays, what is considered romantic versus forward, and how quickly physical affection develops are all deeply cultural. In some places, women initiating a date is completely normal and appreciated. In others, it creates confusion or is interpreted differently than intended. Men navigating certain cultures may find that behaviors they consider respectful are read as disinterest, while things they consider forward are actually expected. Doing some genuine research before diving in is not overthinking it. It is just smart. Here is something the romanticized version of expat life never tells you. Language barriers in relationships are exhausting in a way that goes beyond vocabulary. Even when two people share a common language, emotional conversations hit differently when someone is operating in their second or third language. Nuance gets lost. Tone is harder to read. Someone might seem cold or robotic when they are actually just concentrating on finding the right words. Patience is not just a virtue in these situations. It is the entire foundation. And then there is the elephant in the room that every expat dater eventually confronts. The question of what this relationship actually is and where it is going. When you are living abroad temporarily, there is this ticking clock underneath everything. Are you building something real? Or is this a beautiful chapter with a built-in ending? This uncertainty affects both people differently, and it can be incredibly hard to navigate honestly. The person who is from that country has a life rooted there. You might be leaving in 6 months or 6 years. Having that conversation explicitly and early is uncomfortable, but it is absolutely necessary. So how do you actually navigate all of this well? First, approach every new relationship with genuine cultural curiosity rather than judgment. When something surprises or confuses you, lead with a question rather than an assumption. Second, be honest about your own cultural conditioning. You have one too, and it shapes everything about how you date. Third, talk about expectations early and explicitly. Yes, it feels unromantic. Yes, it is worth it. Fourth, make the effort to understand what relationships look like within their cultural context, not just how they treat you in isolation. The people who thrive in the cross-cultural dating world are not the ones who manage to ignore cultural differences. They are the ones who become genuinely interested in those differences, who see the learning process as part of the relationship rather than an obstacle to it, and who are honest about their own assumptions instead of pretending they come to the table as a blank slate. Dating abroad can genuinely be one of the most rich and meaningful experiences of your life. The connections you build, the way your understanding of love and relationships expands, the version of yourself you discover through those experiences, that is real. But it requires more self-awareness and more intentionality than dating at home. The reward is absolutely worth the extra effort. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who is living abroad or thinking about it. And drop in the comments the most surprising cultural difference you have encountered in dating or relationships. I read every single one, and honestly, they make my day. See you in the next one.